Anyway, this friend of ours went out to Australia to visit my daughter for the first time. Landed in Sydney Airport. He'd never been before, so he didn't know the routine. Anyway, when he got there, he got through the customs bit and he got into immigration. And the immigration officer had his passport, and the immigration officer was going through every page. Then he typed in something on his computer. Then he looked through his passport again. Well, this went on for about 5 minutes. And this chap said, he got a bit impatient, and he said, excuse me, he said, is there a problem? And the immigration officer was still going through the passport, and he said, have you got a criminal record? And our friend said, no, I didn't know it was still necessary. And the other one, my daughter told me this one. This was a Cornish bachelor, bit finickety, like bit fussy, and he decided to go out to Australia to visit a long-lost cousin. Now, the long-lost cousin lived out in the outback, and the Australians call the outback the whoop whoop for some reason. Where this chap lived, really, it wasn't much more than a shack, you know, tin roof, and I won't go into details about the plumbing, but you can use your imagination.
Dunny.
Anyway, yeah, up the garden path to the Dunny, and if you were in it, you shut the door, and if the door was open, you knew it was empty, so there was never a lock on it or anything like that. Anyway, they sat down to have their dinner the first night, and the Cornishman looked at his plate and he said, "Here, boy," he said, "I don't like the fuss," he said, "but my plate ain't looking very clean." And the long-lost Australian cousin said, "Well, cold water can't do no better than that." So he ate his supper. Well, second night, same thing happened. He said, "Here, boy," he said, "you think I'm some fussy?" He said, "But my plate's all greasy round the edges." And the long-lost Australian cousin said, "Well, that's the best that cold water can do." So he ate his supper. Well, this went on every night of the week. Same thing happened. And on the Saturday morning, this massive truck rolled up with some supplies. And the dog went out barking his head off. And the long-lost Australian cousin shouted, "Cold water, come back in here!"